Great new day to all my self-care family and friends. Welcome to another episode of the Room to Breathe podcast. I'm your host, Life Coach 614, and I am thrilled to have each and every one of you here with us today. Whether you're tuning in for a dose of inspiration or just a few moments of calm, you're in the right place. Now, before we dive into today's episode, just a quick reminder. If you're enjoying the show, don't forget to tap the screen, like, comment, and share. Your support helps us to connect with more amazing people like you. And if we're not friends already, we'd love it if you gave us a follow and subscribe to our channel so that way you don't miss out on our latest content. And while you're at it, take some time to head over to our website at theselfcareclub.org. We have some awesome affirmative apparel, motivational merch, and a bunch of resources waiting just for you. It's all about empowering yourself and embracing your journey. No matter what challenges you're facing, remember you're not alone on this path. We're in this together, supporting and uplifting one another every single step of the way. It's time for us to choose to prioritize our well-being, to embrace growth, and to find peace in this present moment. So let's get ready to breathe, reflect, and grow together.
In the quiet moments, that's where I'll find a little room to breathe, leave it all behind. Give me room to breathe, I need some time to heal my heart, to clear my mind. Gonna love myself, yeah, I believe in the power of me. Just give me room to breathe.
T. Harper, Janelle, thank you guys. I appreciate you guys so much for being here. All right, guys, so our topic of discussion or quote for today. Y'all gonna get a kick out of this one, all right? Before you diagnose yourself with depression, make sure that you are not in fact surrounded by assholes. I'm gonna say it again. Before you go out there diagnosing yourself with depression, make sure that you're not in fact surrounded by assholes. Sometimes it's not me, y'all, it's them, right? Like, let me just say, it's not you, it's them, okay? Like, we gotta be real for a second. Life does not give us a manual, right, Miss Debbie, Trish? I've never received a manual, a book, to tell me how to do this thing called life. Yeah, listen, go tell them. B, go tell them. I'm not depressed, you're just an asshole, right? So there's no instruction booklet that tells you how to navigate the days when you feel like everything's gone straight to hell. No one warns you that being an adult isn't just paying bills and hitting career goals, but that it's also crying in the shower at 3 a.m. because you feel overwhelmed. It's waking up feeling completely exhausted even though you just got 8 hours of sleep. It's questioning everything, right? We live in a world that tells us to grind harder, do more, fix yourself, as if we're some kind of broken product. And we just need a little shaping, a little tweaking to be acceptable to others. But let me tell you something. You are not broken. We understand that even broken crowns still color and still have the potential to create something so beautiful, right? So I'm going to tell you that again. You are not broken. Miss Debbie, thank you for the share. Mr. Habit, DJ Fitz, D Truth, welcome in. You are not broken. You are not a little project that needs perfecting. You are not a checklist of achievements waiting to be completed. You're a human. You're a human, which means that you're going to mess up a lot if we're being honest, right? And that's okay. Because the truth is, no one has this thing called life figured out. No one. It's okay. We're all just here getting by to make some sense of the chaos, to find some pieces of joy along the way. But here's the thing we have to really understand. That chaos that we all try to run from, we've got to start to find calm in the chaos. Chaos is normal. We spend so much time trying to control everything, to make sure we're on the right path, that we're doing everything by the book, that we're on the straight and narrow, that sometimes we forget to be sometimes we forget that life isn't meant to be perfectly controlled. It's meant to be lived. And sometimes living means stumbling, falling down, getting back up again. It means having days where you feel like you're on top of the world. King Kong ain't got nothing on me. Followed by days where you feel like you're sinking. And we're trying to figure out, how do we live without them, right? And you know what? That's all part of the process. Growth isn't linear. It's not a straightforward journey, right? It's a path with bumps and bruises and hills and mountains to climb, where we're constantly improving and leveling up. Like, simply put, life is messy. Life is messy. Cookie mix. It's full of setbacks, roadblocks, detours. I am constantly trying to make sure that my internal GPS has the most recent download, because I swear I done took more U-turns and had to recalculate my path so many times. But I can honestly admit that with all of that, I've made progress every single day. Latera, welcome in. Thank you, Mr. Habit. And just like I've made progress, so will you. One day, and the next day, and the next day. Right? We're going to have wins. We're going to have things that we can celebrate, followed by some setbacks that we got to acknowledge, right? And it's those moments, the ones where you're struggling the most, those are the moments where you are growing the most. You don't need to have it all together. Welcome in, Michelle. You don't need to have it all together, because nobody does. No matter what IG tells you. You see these perfect lives on the gram. Listen, let me tell you something. When the camera's not rolling, they ain't got it all together. Let me tell you something. I've seen people who look like they live in their best life on the outside. But on the inside, they are falling apart. These relationship goals, honey, them be the relationships that have the most domestic violence, the most internal abuse, be it physically, be it verbally. These people are not happy, right? But on the outside, they look good, right? You be like, hashtag relationship goals. I don't want it, right? So we have to understand that we are all in some way, shape, or form just trying to make it through, right? We're just trying to get through the day without losing our mind. Lord, I just want to make it through today and still be in my right mind tomorrow. Whatever that looks like, right? So we've got to stop comparing ourselves to someone else's highlight reel. We've got to stop comparing ourselves to other people, because ultimately you're your own competition. It's you versus you. No one else. So stop thinking that just because your life isn't picture perfect, that you're somehow failing, that you're somehow less than. Because I've already told you, you're enough. You're more than enough. You've always been enough, and you will always be enough. And if someone tells you that you're too much, baby, tell them go find less. And if someone else tells you you need to be more, you just remind them, listen, I am fearfully and wonderfully made as I am. I'm not going to dissect myself to make it easier for you to chew. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to dim my light because you think it's too bright. If you don't have enough sense to put on some shades in my presence, well, that's your business. But this little light of mine, I'm finna let it shine. I'm not going to stop glowing because you can't handle it. You know how we have plans to do things and all of a sudden it rains on our parade? What up, Black? Right? Anybody ever plan to do something outside? Oh, listen, we're going to have a cookout. We're going to have a party. We're going to do something outside, and then all of a sudden it rains. The universe don't care about what you got planned. The universe has determined that we need rain over here. So it's going to rain over here. No matter what you thought you was doing, it's going to rain. So if the universe can do what it want to do, then I'm going to keep shining my light. Even though other people might be like, you glowing too much. You too positive, don't matter. I'm going to keep showing up being positive. I'm going to keep showing up sharing a message of positivity, spreading love, spreading joy, spreading happiness. Why? Because I can. Unapologetically, authentically, right? So I don't want you guys to dim your light because someone else tells you you're too much. I want you to tell them go find less. And you know, the truth is, no one talks about how the mess that we go through, you know, can really strengthen us, right? No one wants to get to the message because they don't want to sift through their own mess. Thank you for the follow. Right? And no one wants to talk about the mess because it's uncomfortable. It's vulnerable. But the mess is where that real work happens. The mess is where you start to really learn who you are. When you are reminded whose you are. And that mess that you oftentimes don't want to sift through, that's where you start to find out what you're made of, right? What you can survive. The mess is where you grow. It's where you break down and build yourself back up again. Yeah, Black says, but we need to address it so we can be our best selves. Absolutely. You know, I previously talked about how a lotus flower bloom. And you know, lotus flowers are absolutely beautiful, you guys. But they grow in the mud. They bloom in the dirt. And so flowers and plants aren't afraid of a little dirt. Right? They're not afraid of unfavorable conditions. They still bloom. Right? And so we have to remind ourselves that just because our circumstances are not pretty, right? Some of us have been dealt just the shittiest of hands in life. Well, just because I don't have ideal circumstances doesn't mean that I cannot bloom. Doesn't mean that I cannot still be beautiful. Right? And so you've got to get into it. You've got to get comfortable in what's uncomfortable and start talking about it. Because again, the mess is where you grow. And so even though, you think that these things are going to break you down, it's not. It's just going to allow you to rebuild yourself again and again and again. And we're all going to have these days where we feel like we're just crawling through the mud, barely making it. Barely making it, guys. Right? But those are the days that matter the most. Those are the days where you're building resilience, you're building strength, you're building character. And I know that, some of you might not see it now, but every single time you pick yourself up, even on those moments where it feels impossible, you're proving to yourself just how strong you are. And guess what? True growth doesn't have to look pretty. Right, Etta? Kyra, welcome in. It doesn't have to be tied up in some cute, neat little bow. It can be ugly. It can be chaotic. It can be full of tears and frustration and doubt. Right? Doubt. But that doesn't make it any less valid. In fact, it makes it even more powerful because anyone can show up when life is easy. But showing up when everything is falling apart, that's true strength. So if you're just sitting there thinking that you're failing because things feel too heavy right now, let me remind you that you're not failing. You're living. You're experiencing the full spectrum of what it means to be a human. You're feeling the highs, you're feeling the lows, you're experiencing the joy and the pain. And that's what life is all about. It's about embracing all of it. The good, the bad, the ugly, and knowing that through it all, you're still enough. That you're more than enough. That you've always been enough. So you don't have to have all the answers. You don't need your life to be completely mapped out. It's okay to be confused on this journey. It's okay to change your mind. It's okay to not know what the hell you're doing half the time. But guess what? None of us do. So stop putting so much pressure on yourself to be perfect. Stop expecting yourself to always be on. Right? You're allowed to be tired. You're allowed to rest. You're allowed to just be. Welcome in, DJ Light. Thank you for the gifts, you guys. You're allowed to just be. You are enough. Right here, right now, in this moment. You are enough. Even if everything else feels like a mess, you are enough. Because the truth is, you're not defined by your worst days. You're not defined by your mistakes. You are not defined by how together your life looks. You are defined by your heart, by your resilience, and your willingness to keep showing up even when it's difficult. So if you're feeling lost, if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're questioning your worth, just know this: you're doing better than you think. You are stronger than you realize. And you are worthy of love, joy, and peace, even when life feels chaotic. So if I could give you one tip today, it would be to simply embrace the mess. Celebrate the chaos. Because that is where the real magic happens. That is where the growth happens. And that's where you happen. Let me leave you with this. Every single one of us is walking around with our own mess. But it's those messy, raw, unfiltered moments where we will find our power. So stop hiding from the mess. Embrace it. Own it. Live it. Because that's where your true beauty lies. As we wrap up today's episode, I want to take this moment to thank each and every one of you for joining us. If you've enjoyed our time together and we're not friends already, be sure to give us a follow, subscribe to our channel so you never miss out on our latest content. And don't forget to take a few moments to head over to our website at theselfcareclub.org. There you can book a personalized one-on-one coaching session, as well as check out our affirmative apparel and other motivational merch, including music. We also have a treasure trove of free resources designed just for you. So whether you are looking to elevate your self-care game or just find some extra inspiration, know that we've got you covered. I thank each and every one of you for being a part of the Self-Care Club community today. I am absolutely excited to connect with you all again soon. And until next time, I encourage you to keep breathing, stay positive, and remember that you are always supported here. Don't be afraid to take up space and make a little more room for you to breathe. I pray that each and every one of you have an amazing day on purpose, filled with purpose, and I hope to connect with you again soon. Thank you.